Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Gonna be honest here, a little bit of frustration in a couple different respects. Tonight's game, the matchup against Anaheim and how that's gone the last two nights, and also frustration for Devan Dubnyk, personally. Still no wins on the season. The goals against and the save percentage, probably not where he wants them, but he has deserved so much better than those stats would suggest. Give me a second here while I settle in. I just got home, configuring out the live stream here from the home studio, and going to run through my game notes. A 2-1 shootout loss. And it feels like the Sharks, they're supposed to win all their shootouts, right? Starting off with Donato. Man, Ryan Donato, shootout specialist. And just when I thought he was waiting Ryan Miller to do that same move he did last night on John Gibson, then he kind of gets Miller to bite, and then he goes right back around the other side. So very impressive. Shootout specialist. I'm glad to have Ryan Donato, not just for that role, but a lot of other ones too. Setting my timer here at 10 minutes, and I'll probably, to be honest with you, keep it close to 10 minutes tonight. The off day tomorrow and on Monday, I've got dinner to eat, and I just want to get these thoughts out and up on YouTube. And I mentioned frustration. Let's talk about this. You score 11 seconds into the game. That's your start. I love it. But that's basically all the offense you could muster the rest of the night. And look, I understand it was that type of game, more defensive-minded, wasn't wide open back and forth. You could also say wasn't the sharpest game from either side, too. And I'm wondering, the effects of, but here we go, playing on back-to-back nights. But this is not a traditional back-to-back. There was no travel in between for either team. And the Sharks had just come off a lengthy break, right, with having their prior two games against Las Vegas be postponed. So I don't know the reason why there wasn't a little bit more offense for really both teams. And I can't point the finger only at the Sharks, but I do think the Ducks generated, at least later on, more chances. San Jose's defense, they didn't necessarily break later on in the game, and even in the overtime period. Rakell, my goodness. You think he's going to sleep tonight, or he's going to think about those two chances he had point blank? One on the one-timer and one when he kind of slipped in back door, and he couldn't convert on either of them. Really couldn't get a great shot off on either of them. But yeah, frustration because the Sharks scored first, couldn't manage the game, or at least dictate the rest of the game in their favor. I'm just looking at, I got a hair issue going on here. Look at this. What is going on? I just can't get comfortable. But also think about this series against Anaheim, and for the Sharks, having already played the tough teams like St. Louis, Colorado, playing a very good team like Minnesota, playing a team like even the Desert Dogs, which right now are trending in an upward direction. And then now to face Anaheim and to come into this series looking at it and thinking about it and saying, all right, this is where you can kind of assert yourself. This is where you can separate yourself and play them head-to-head in two games, beat them up a little bit, get your first two, convincing wins of the season, or at least get one. And that didn't happen. So, until you actually make that move away from a Ducks and away from a LA Kings like you're about to play, and to show that you can compete with the Minnesota Wilds and the Arizona Coyotes, like until you can put yourself in that conversation of being a fourth spot team in the West Division, like that's part of the frustration factor of again tonight's game, but entirely this series. And I got to say, why am I saying, well, you want to win decisively? Because that way you get 2 points and the Ducks get none. These were both 3-point games. So in reality, it kind of just washes itself out. I mean, imagine if these two games were points-wise, San Jose 4, Anaheim none. Big difference. I liked, of course I like scoring a goal 11 seconds into the game, and I like the fact that it's 3 seconds away from the franchise record, but I'm not surprised that it was Logan Couture's line that got it done. They were the same line that got it done to start the third period last night. And I'm here to say that what they did last night and how they started the game tonight was a huge statement. And I like that. I like that statement. Rest of the first period, another thing I wrote down here is that Devan Dubnyk was great, especially on the penalty kills, I want to say, that the Sharks jumped on. Right after they had the 1-0 lead, he was exceptional. I also thought he was great really in the third period too, and in spots in overtime. He had to be great. They leaned on him, and he was reliable. Devan Dubnyk tonight, right on the Isaac Lundestrom goal, that was a crazy tip. I mean, it wasn't even a pretty sophisticated or intentional, like pick my corner tip. When Lindholm shot it, Lundestrom, almost kind of dodged it, and it deflected off the shaft of his stick down on the ice, and that's how it beat Devan Dubnyk. So he was that close, that one goal away from pitching a shutout tonight. And I'll be honest, if I show you my phone right now, which, I mean, I'm going to grab it here. I'm not actually going to open it up, but we have a little group text chat for, what's happening on our shows because we're all separated as the game goes on. But myself, Curtis, tonight Drew was on there, and our producer Jace. And I'll reveal it now, but I texted them tonight. Why am I looking at this camera still? It wasn't on that camera. I texted them tonight, Dubnyk shutout. And he was that close to getting it. It's just I'm frustrated for him. Still looking for his first win as a Shark, and has definitely played, like I said, better than the stats reflect. San Jose's offense, the start was what it was, but I mean, even in the third period, and I'll always use this disclaimer, I don't always go on the shot clock. I really don't. But it was 10-5 in the third period. Sharks had 5 shots on goal in the final frame. And let me get into the second period here, because I'm trying to go period by period, but I'm also getting distracted in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, the trend continues of second periods, struggling second periods. Now, tonight, the margin and the difference was only them 1, Sharks none. So it was only a -1. Problem is, you keep adding these minus numbers to what is now a -13 differential. Second periods, the Sharks have allowed 18 and scored 5. And overall, I'm not here to say it was a disastrous middle frame at all. I'm just saying that narrative was not helped tonight, and that narrative is not going away because of it. What else should I talk about? I wrote down Ricard Raquel, his 2 chances late. I also wrote this down later in the game as I started paying attention to a couple specific stats, and that is the shot count for Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson specifically. Brent Burns did not register a shot on goal. And I think Karlsson had credit for 2. Now, Burns did shoot the puck. He had a couple missed shots on net. But in terms of shots on goal, none. And that's just an observation. Burns, he likes to shoot the puck. I know he will when he gets the chance. So that I'm not concerned by that one-off. But I'm actually more concerned by Erik Karlsson, who did have 2 shots on goal, but I thought several times more. And Brett Hedican pointed these opportunities out during the broadcast. I fully agree as I watched and as he brought them up. And Karlsson's got a good shot. I want to see him shoot more. I know he can pass, and I would love to see that too. But I don't want him to be a pass first D-man. If the shot's there, take the shot. Because I also think that's going to create 2 other opportunities out front, loose change, you name it. Also from the theme of the blue line, Mario Ferraro, I think, had 7 hits tonight. So I do like that stat. I normally don't always rely on the hit stat. I feel like depending on what rink you're at, the accuracy can be one way or another huge on a spectrum. But I did like to see that Mario brought the physical sense to the game tonight. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Drew Remenda's next appearance with us is going to be on February 18th. So we got about 12 days to get ready for the next Drew appearance. And by the way, the schedule has already been out of when he's going to be on with us this year. It's very much condensed into this month of February and just a little bit into March, as I know it and as it stands right now. So let me take a quick peek here at some of the questions and comments. Yeah, and Michael, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Zavorskis, I hope I'm saying that right. The power play needs improvement. It was like 1 for 26, I think, 1 for its last 26 coming into tonight. And when I did the first intermission interview with Logan Couture, he brought that up. You know, basically his thought was, all right, in the second period, our aim is to play well enough to draw penalties, to get power plays, and to convert there. And yeah, they weren't able to get on those man advantages, but I agree. Had a power play early in the game, couldn't capitalize. That's an area that alone could change their fortunes. In all these close games that they're playing, that's another conversation. You know, and I'm not surprised by this. I said it early on, and I'm not shocked that it's playing out this way. Look how many close games the Sharks have been in. And close in a good way, where they come out on top, but close in a bad way, like tonight. You were that close to, having a totally different result. Should split up Burns and Karlsson on the power play. I mean, maybe. I just hesitate to think that on the power play, it's more about establishing in the zone sometimes. And we didn't see a big enough selection of it tonight. 3, 2, 1. There's my 10-minute timer. I do that because, I'll be on here for like 30 minutes tonight if I'm not paying attention to the clock. But, I don't know that it's like one small change, like, break 2 guys up on the power play units, and that's going to make the ultimate difference. I just think there's more of it's just execution. And I also hesitate to think that it's planning and strategy and X's and O's. I think it's just execution on the power play. Simple as that. Need some Timo time. Yeah, he hit a post late in tonight's game. And look, that's how close you were. Was that in regulation or no? Was that in the overtime period? See, brain gets fuzzy. But you're that close to not even having to do a shootout, to ending the game when Timo ringed one. Wait, do I have that? Did it sound like this? I have the actual audio. Yeah, you get crickets on that one. Hey, when are the Sharks going to play the Las Vegas Golden Knights? You can hear that, right? Is it loud enough? You could probably make it a little bit louder. Anyway, all right, look at me. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I'm screwing around with my soundboard here. So with that said, cue the closeout music. I want to wish everybody a happy Super Bowl weekend. Enjoy a couple days without Sharks hockey so that we can get back together on, Tuesday at Staples Center. Yeah, Sharks tonight played a lot of defense. And maybe there's something to that, right? They bent, but didn't necessarily break. And to the whole title of this video, Devan Dubnyk has definitely entered the conversation. I don't know that we're at controversy yet, goalie controversy, but we're definitely at competition, and I think we're at conversation. So, hey, that does it here for a Saturday night. Sharks lose 2-1. I'll see you back here on YouTube soon. I'll see you back on TV on Tuesday.